Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to the Temple's Pride Shabbat. We're proud to be part of Pride Month and to be a synagogue that is the first in the Commonwealth of Kentucky to have Pride Shabbatot. And we're really proud to have our own member, the only Jewish legislator in Kentucky, State Senator Dr. Karen Berg, speak to us tonight. It's a special Pride Shabbat. We remember this year with a lot of sadness our beloved member Henry Berg Brousseau of blessed memory, Zichrono Livracha, and we dedicate this Pride Shabbat both tonight and tomorrow to his legacy and his memory. We begin our service as we sing together Hinei Matov. Turn to page 2 for the blessing for the candles and the fruit of the vine. I would like to invite members of our Pride Month committee, Bonnie and Clint and Brad and Michelle, to lead us in the blessing over the candles and the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. If you'll turn to page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
And we turn now to page 20 to welcome the Sabbath bride as we sing together Lecha Dodi.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach.
We rise as we turn to page 28 for the Berlow.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
And we turn to page 30 and read together. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai.
Hama'ariv Aravim.
And we turn to page 34 for the calling of the Shema. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוך בך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We turn now to page 40 to sing together the same song our ancestors sang as they were crossing the Sea of Reeds, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nidam ha'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, osef Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ka'al Yisrael.
We turn to page 43 as we read together at the bottom of the page. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. And we turn the page to page 44 to sing together Yismechu. as we turn to page 46 for the tefillah. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and mothers, and bring redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign deliverer, helper, and shield, blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You rain dew upon us. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the falling, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. And we read together, you are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated as we turn to page 61. Please join me as we read together the prayer for shalom, for peace and wellness and wholeness. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim this message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל. Shalom.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam
moment for a silent prayer. The Misha Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives, in the life of everyone that is dear to us, is on page 253. We name in our hearts people that we know that need healing and courage and strength as we join together singing Misha Berach. Such an honor and a pleasure to have with us our own temple member, State Senator Dr. Karen Berg, who will share with us some of the struggles she's facing and our state is facing with laws that are being introduced time and again that are nothing less than evil laws that do not present the humanity of our wonderful Commonwealth. Please, State Senator.
Okay, guys, so my kids always tell me, write it down, write it down, write it down, and I'm really not good at writing it down. And then I have like 10 minutes to give you a synopsis of what's gone on over the last actually several years that have led us to this point. So I'm going to try to be quick. I'm going to try to be concise. If I skip over things, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just get me afterwards. Because I really think, I think this is important for people to understand. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of how I see the state of affairs of LGBTQ rights in Kentucky at this point as we speak, okay? And to do this, honestly, I have to go back several years, because the first thing we have to figure out, guys, is how did the country go crazy? How did 20 state houses in this country simultaneously pass laws that not only are they on their face unconstitutional, but they don't even agree with the own moral compass of the majority of people in this country? So I've got to explain to you what happened a little bit. And some of this, I knew as we were going through this, some of this, you realize in retrospect what just happened. But here is how it started, guys. There's an American Academy of Pediatricians. They have about 67,000 members in this country. They are the face of medicine for pediatricians in the United States. But Back in 2002, a group split off from the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they named themselves the American College of Pediatricians. They were founded in 2022, and the reason they left the actual larger board of physicians is when the American Academy of Pediatrics decided that it was okay for gay couples to adopt children. This group of physicians found that so abhorrent that they broke off and they founded their own American College of Pediatricians. It's hard to estimate how many members countrywide. Typical estimations are between 500 and 700 members, approximately 60% of whom are thought to actually be physicians. So compared to the 67,000 population of the American Academy of Pediatrics, this is a very small fringe group that has already, before all these sessions happened, been described by the Southern Poverty Law Center as an actual anti-LGBTQ hate group. Okay? So we have to start there. Now let me tell you just a little bit more about these people, because they don't just care about anti-trans legislation. Their core purpose for being is homophobia. That's what started them. And they actually are also same plaintiffs in the lawsuit in Texas against mifepristone. So not only are they working to block access to transgender health care in this country, they are actively working on major lawsuits throughout the United States as plaintiffs that would stop abortion health care in this country. Now what's happened? They write legislation, and then somehow they have hooked up with a group called the Alliance Defending Freedom, okay? The Alliance Defending Freedom is a longer-standing organization, but in its current form, it's been around since 2011. They have over $100 million in revenue, and it is the Alliance Defending Freedom that actually brought the case forward that let Dobbs fall. And that was intentional and on purpose, because the Alliance Defending Freedom is a Christian nationalist organization, and they strongly believe that abortion is ungodly and that LGBTQ lifestyle is also ungodly. So we have these groups that have come together, and they have successfully infiltrated, at this point, almost half of the state houses in this country by bringing a massive, well-funded disinformation campaign to the legislatures. And you gotta understand, guys, when we're talking about state legislators, it's not like what you think it is. It's not like these bills are well thought out and ahead of time everybody sort of makes good concerted decisions. I mean, this last short session, which is a 30-day session, guys, we filed 880 bills. We passed 145 bills. And let me tell you, the truth is, the majority of those bills were passed by votes where the legislators who were voting for them did not have an understanding of what they were voting for, why or not. They're told by their party, we vote yes on this, we vote no on that. You're a good party person, you go along and you do it, okay? So you have to understand, it's not like it's well thought out, concerted, and planned. It's not. So what happened is essentially, we passed one of the worst anti-LGBTQ bills in the country this last legislative session. It has basically 4 components. There's a don't say gay component. There's making legislation for making medication for trans children illegal component. There's a bathroom component. What's so interesting about that bathroom component, guys, the way you know unequivocally that these bills are written out of state is because we have not had a single documented complaint in the state of Kentucky from any school about current bathroom policies. But we just passed a law that we are going to have to intentionally rewrite all of our bathroom policies in the state. And then the 4th component, I forget. Anyhow, it's bad from top to bottom. Bad from top to bottom. All right, so that's what happened. It's a confluence of well-funded, well-thought-through fringe groups in this country that have come together and combined an anti-abortion, anti-LGBTQ mentality with Christian nationalist funding, and they're winning. Right now, if you look at what happened last session in this country, oh my God, guys, they are at home toasting each other, high-fiving, because it was bad. It was bad. Okay, so what's the good news? Because there's a lot of good news also, guys. There's some good news. The good news is that basically so far, every case that has made it to the courts has been struck down. When I say that these bills are unconstitutional on their face, they are in large part really clearly unconstitutional on their face. What happened with Dobbs when Alliance Defending Freedom took their court case and literally had Dobbs overturned? That took those decisions out of the federal jurisdiction, back to the states, and that's when all hell broke loose, okay? What's happening with these LGBTQ bans is that they're not being heard in state courts for the most part. They are being able to jump straight into federal courts. And so far, the federal courts are kicking these laws out. So, the big wins that we've had so far, the biggest by far occurred in Arkansas last week. That was a case that had actually been going through the system for 2 years. They were the first in the country with their ban. And after a long 2-year legal ban, basically the courts permanently enjoined. They said no, kicked it out entirely. It's not like they said go back and rewrite something better. They said this will not stand. We've had a Medicaid ban in Florida that did not stand again. And one of the reasons this is happening is because these bans are falling not under the right to privacy, which is what Dobbs was under, but under the Equal Protection Clause. So they're actually falling under an entirely different constitutional right. So far, they're holding up. Indiana recently granted a preliminary injunction, and we are hopeful that Kentucky will grant a preliminary injunction this week. If not, the law goes into effect on Thursday. Also from Indiana in the Seventh Circuit, they upheld the right for a school district to fire a teacher that refused to use a child's preferred pronouns. That happened in Indiana about 3 weeks ago, guys. Hasn't gotten a whole lot of national. That was a case also brought by the Alliance Defending Freedom, and here they lost. So even though they've been winning on the side of choice in the courts, they are losing so far every case. The other one, Tennessee, the drag bill, which we did not pass here. It got stopped in the House, but let me tell you, everybody has every intention of bringing it back next session. That drag bill was knocked down under the First Amendment in Tennessee as well, under the freedom of speech and expression. So, some of the news is positive, but what people really have to understand, and what I didn't know about coming in, is how concerted and how nationally funded and nationally oriented these bills are. I mean, I've actually had the opportunity now to see bills from other states, the exact same language. Literally, when I say cut, copy, and pasted, cut, copy, and pasted. Bring in the same, what I consider sham physicians to testify. And most of our electeds they don't understand the difference really between like standardized medicine and fringe medicine. And the truth is, a lot of them are really, really mad at medicine from the beginning because of COVID and the mask mandates. So I had an elected politician the day before yesterday tell me, a state senator, that no matter what information I presented to her, she would not believe me that childhood vaccinations save lives because the medical community lies, intentionally lies. These are the people that are actually controlling decisions that are being made in our state right now. So what can you do? All right. The first thing, and the most important thing, guys, stay informed. Stay informed, stay on top of it. They have a supermajority right now. Is it way over 10 minutes? They have a supermajority right now, which means that the rules that are in place don't necessarily have to stand. So like there's a rule that a bill has to have 3 hearings before it can get passed. The reason for that is so that the public has time to know that this bill is coming up, and hopefully to be able, to give people their opinion on it. 3 days, 3 hearings, 3 separate days. When they have a supermajority, they can waive the rules so that they have 1 hearing in the morning, a next hearing in the afternoon, a 3rd hearing on the floor, and pass that bill that same damn day. Because they know they have enough of a supermajority that nobody will stand up in committee and say, wait a second, guys, this is against the rules. This isn't playing the way the public needs us to play. So you've got to be informed. Vote like it matters, guys. And I know I'm talking to the audience here, but we will not be able to change this system without winning in the polls. We have an election coming up this year that I think is considered one of the 2 most important elections nationally in the country, because it's going to be an indication of which way we're going as a whole. Use your influence across the state. I know this sounds like, what do you mean? But like if everybody in this room wrote their legislator, I'm getting your emails, okay? What we need is to reach out to our more rural representatives. Anybody you know who lives out in the state, you need to be in their ears. You need to be saying, how do we reach these people? How do we make an impact on them? Who do we know that could run against them? Because most of them are running unopposed. The last thing I want to leave you with very quickly. You know, these are national organizations bringing in a national agenda that really doesn't have any significance in this state. We have never done genital reassignment surgery in the state of Kentucky. We don't even have a provider. You know, things like that. The reason these legislators are willing to pick up and run with this type of legislation is because they are being told that it polls well with voters. They are being told that this will get them votes. And I just want to make sure that people understand that here in the state of Kentucky, I know and you know that we're better than that. And we are better than that. In this last primary election, where Kelly Craft and Max Wise, and you have to understand, guys, Max Wise sponsored this hate in the Senate, not because he believes in it, but because he thought it would get votes for him and as a lieutenant governor and Kelly Craft as governor, and they thought the further right they could position themselves, the better they would do. $20 million later, guys, they came in third place in their primary. So I'm trying to remind you, hate does not actually win in this state. Ignorance is not going to win in this state. People know better. Polling that went on during session, 70% of people in Kentucky want nothing to do with this type of legislation. What we have to do is make sure that our elected representatives realize, oh, the polls were wrong. They thought I was going to get this votes. This is going to get me in trouble, and I may lose my seat. That is what's going to stop it. And I honestly believe in the state of Kentucky, we have enough good people that once they really get a chance to understand what we did, that it will get stopped. Thank you.
Dr. Berg, we have a small gift for you before the anthem. We have the Brotherhood Bourbon Whiskey.
Let me tell you, this I can now use these days, more than I should have.
And also our new Pride t-shirt is for you. Thank you so much for those beautiful and encouraging words, and also telling us what we need to do, because there is a lot of work that needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And our anthem is?
Let There Be Love, Hashki Venu.
And you can find the words on page 43, more or less the words.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
as we turn to page 283 for the Aleinu. We read together in the middle of page 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Page 287 as we read together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up a hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all the earth. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Shabbat will continue tomorrow. We have Torah study at 9 a.m., a special session for LGBTQ issues that are found in the Torah and in the Talmud, in our sources. We have at 10:30 our service where we have Shir Chadash, our own choir, and also Voices of Kantakiana, the LGBTQ choir that is joining us for the service. And Avery is going to be singing as well at the service, and the service is led by LGBTQ members of our community. There's after that performance of Voices of Kantakiana of 30 minutes, and then a brunch that will be here, so please join us tomorrow as well. The sermon tomorrow, the Dvar Torah, the words of Torah after the Torah reading, will be by Rabbi Rachel Pass, Karen's daughter, Dr. Karen Berg's daughter, and we all know how wonderful Rabbi Pass is. She will also be here next week, Friday and Saturday, as our visiting rabbi here. She will be here for almost a week. We turn now to page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Jose Maza, Henry Berg Rousseau, David Sean Bailey, Mary Graves, Julia Klein, Brent Martin, Podina Eisenbeng, Marty Goldman, Geraldine Lurie, Estelle Garmon, Lori Kofferman, Ted Perlmutter, David Radman, Frida Shapiro, Erwin Waterman, Irene Zimmerman, Martin Berg, William A. Plank, Hilda Present, Gerta Schwartz, Ruth Weinstock, Fred Hamel, Jerome Kaufman, Eleanor Young, Annette Liebman, Francie Natowitz, Annalie Jaffe, Maurice Coleman Zeiger, and in recent days, Bruce Prisant and Nahum Zeltzer. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. And with the blessed memories of our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Please join me. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חיותי וימיך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי בקדושה וברכו. לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, ואמירן ואמר ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה ושמיה, וחיים עליהם ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עליהם ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction among us all. Amen. The closing song is
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom. The last words of the Kaddish on page 294. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us in the oneg provided by the women of Reform Judaism, and please wish a Shabbat Shalom to someone you never met. Shabbat Shalom.